Episodes where Lupin has been caught or believed to be dead or something like that have happened several times in the past with the original 3 series, so episode 13, The End of Lupin III, is really nothing truly original for Lupin, but it makes up for it by being away and far the best of any of the Lupin Gets Killed or Caught episodes. It's purely a character-driven episode, and as I've said before, character is what Blue Jacket has been doing best, and it really shines in this episode. The episode picks up shortly after the end of the previous episode, the double-parter Dream of Italy, where Lupin has turned himself into police custody. It all begins fairly predictably. Zenigata is obsessing over every security measure taken against Lupin, the prison director laughs him off, only to be immediately shocked when Lupin makes an escape attempt and Zenigata stops him, etc, etc. It starts off pretty comically, and you start to get the feel that it'll be a really comedic episode, and while I do feel that it would have been better had it stayed a silly Zenigata versus a Lupin episode, it instead breaks off and gets pretty somber pretty quickly. After foiling a few of Lupin's escape attempts, Zenigata takes it upon himself to transfer Lupin to a tiny, unmapped island somewhere off the Italian coast. Confined to pretty much a tiny cement and steel box, Lupin is watched around the clock by Zenigata. The episode makes an abrupt slowdown in pacing compared to the quick and humorous start, with Zenigata going slowly mad as he desperately waits for Lupin to escape or for one of his allies to attempt rescuing him. Lupin, on the other hand, seemingly has given up and admits defeat to both his life as a thief and his life in general as he begins starving himself and wasting away. Zenigata sinks more and more into the realization that his road with Lupin is finally at an end, although like usual we all know he can't accept it because that means the chase is over and he'll never find an adversary like Lupin again and all that. It doesn't hit any unexpected notes or anything. You won't see any sides of Zenigata or Lupin that you haven't seen half a dozen times before, and of course you know that Lupin isn't really done and you're just waiting for him to unveil his final plan against Zenigata and escape, so it's no surprise when he finally does. This is kind of why I wish it were more like a comedic episode. It would have been funny seeing Lupin pull all these larger-than-life and crazy schemes to get out of prison, only to be stopped by Zenigata at the last minute each time, until he eventually does nothing and admits defeat, which drives Zenigata insane and allows Lupin to escape. But while it's a very standard episode in its writing and makes no surprises, it's still pretty decent and very easy to enjoy. I guess my only real problem with it is that Blue Jacket is a lot more emotionally weighty than a lot of the previous Lupin stuff. It seems hard-pressed for Blue Jacket to ever just cut loose and be silly and carefree and be the anime version of Tom and Jerry like a lot of the previous stuff from the original 3 series was. It's not a heavy complaint or anything, but it'd just be nice to see Blue Jacket realize that yes, sometimes you can just be sort of lighthearted and silly with your Lupin, and it doesn't always have to be very somber and serious. Still, a good episode all things considered. Lupin's escape is a tad silly, but strangely plausible enough to be kind of believable, and it ends on a really great note that at least properly utilizes the emotional seriousness of the episode. The only major thing wrong with the episode is, at the very end, we get treated to a really quick scene with the M16 guys where some stupid new plot device is broken out of its prison or something because apparently the Blue Jacket writers think if we don't have some lame, half-baked, overarching plot element going on, our brains will fucking explode. Oh well. More on that as we get to it. In the end, I give this episode 4 out of 5 Lupins. Remember to like, shitscribe, and slit your neck. Check the description for a link to all these juicy episodes, and I'll see you on the other side.